6. Command Toga, SRS runway, auto thrust is loose. 80 knots, thrust set. 5500. 31. Rotate.
I don't want to wait 10 more seconds. Let's go. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Another stream doubling up today, 2 for 2. I was totally not expecting to do this tonight. I was actually on the way home from our last live stream we did, flying the Caravan around, and I got an email saying, hey, 321 is just about ready. They sent it out to their content creators and such, and I figured, let me just do, I can't just not go the rest of the day without even just testing the 321 and xplane. So we'll probably do another flight tomorrow just to really dive into some stuff. I've been trying to get my xPilot to work, but for some reason it won't connect. Like the connect button is just grayed out to me. So I don't know what's up with the xPilot thing, trying to get on VATSIM, but that's okay. It'll give us some time to just kind of sit back and look at the airplane and see some of the options and some of the upgrade. We'll go through some of the changelog for you. I got the changelog handy, so we'll look at that. But I'm really looking forward to just getting in this airplane and flying a 321 again, because I haven't flown this since I don't know how long. It's been a long time. So we're not going to spend too much time, just the shout outs. We're just going to get into it. First off, though, you could tell looking at it, just absolutely beautiful airplane. I am using the 19 Atom livery for the U.S. Airways, the 507 Alpha Yankee. Did a fantastic job with this livery. He's also configured some of the dirty flap textures. That's all part of the livery on here. But overall model looks really, really nice. And of course, I mean, look at our IAE engines. Absolutely love having IAE engines. Finally, we've been flying so many CFMs with the Phoenix 320. It's finally good to see some IAE engines. I got to tell you, I did a little startup a second ago, or more like a couple minutes ago. Did a startup, did a test flight, get all my bindings in there, and the engine model for the IE engines is absolutely fantastic. So we've got so much to talk about. I got a big change log I want to go through. We're going to show you that, but we're going to just hop in and get this airplane fired up first, and then we'll talk about it in cruise. We're going San Diego to Oakland today. I was going to go to San Fran, but I was getting some of my ortho scenery set up from Orbix, and I guess my Orbix scenery kind of wiped out the default SFO airport, which is interesting. So we're going to Oakland instead from San Diego. This should be fun. Let's go ahead and fire this puppy up. XP72 is in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you, brother. Hope all is well. Hope you're staying cool out there in Florida, man. Welcome to the stream. All right, let's go right up for overhead, 26.9 or greater, or 25.5 or greater. So 26.9, we got plenty of volts. We're going to connect straight into the ground power unit. I'm also going to make sure my sounds are set properly up here. Now, one of the options, you saw it in the 342, it's nice, but you can have your cold and dark set to power up with 80% brightness, which is an ISCS setting right here. Start with bright displays. I've got that on. You know, it was kind of an older mentality when EIS 1 and you had CRT screens to turn off all your PFDs, but with modern Airbuses and the modern screens we have now, we don't always turn off the NDs and PFDs, so it's nice to just have that. They start at 80%, so if you want to turn them up to 100, I mean, you can do that as well. But you can see the airplanes are powering up, or I'm sorry, the panels are powering up correctly. Then the sequence is very good there. There's a lot of little changes that I'm actually really looking forward to showing you guys. But let's go ahead and continue with the overhead flow. Traveling from Oakland to 1997. Whoa. All right, crew supply oxygen, come on, ground control on, CVR test. It is modeled, and you're listening to a completely default sound pack as well. So I have not added or modified anything. This is the default new 321 for xplane 12. We're just going to kind of go through it together here. You can see the on-bat light illuminates and extinguishes correctly, so that's good. Those are in the alignment phase. Come down to the lights. We'll go auto here, nav in position 1, seatbelts can stay off, no smoking auto, arm the emergency exit lights. Landing elevation is in auto. Continuing up the overhead, we got fault lights here, which is good. I'm going to go ahead and turn the pack flow low, or I'm sorry, pack flow. Well, this would be the pack flow valve, but in the 321, this is actually an econ flow. We're going to go ahead and just leave that off for now, so back to normal flow, which would only matter with a dual pack operation anyway. Up the fuel tank here, you can see we're operating with an ACT tank today. I don't think this tail number had an ACT tank, but I've got it on for the option again in the ISCS. Everything else looks good on the overhead. Let's do a fire test. And do a fire test on Agent 2. And, of course, the APU fire. And, of course, you're looking for ECAM messages, which they've added additional ECAMs. They've tweaked some of the ECAMs. A lot of updates under the hood on this airplane. So I'm going to try to get this thing started before we go off on a tangent about the under the hood updates, because there's quite a bit. Continuing up here, that is out and off. We don't need VHF1 on. Actually, I guess I can't turn it off. That's fine. We'll leave it. We'll leave that in the center position. So the PA, want to make sure that is out and on. PA, that's to record the flight attendant announcements on the black box. So overhead is set. They are going to align here. We got 7 minutes. Looks like our door's armed up. That's because I had everything in auto. I'm going to just change this for now. Tomorrow we'll look more at syncing this up maybe with SimBrief. I've got my SimBrief ID locked in there, but let's go ahead and do this. Let's go open on the cargo doors here, because I want to test something in a minute here. But I'm going to open up the cargo doors, and we'll just say we're boarding from 1L. Everything else can stay on auto. That's fine. But you know what? For replay purposes, let's just keep these closed so we don't have anything later on down the line. We're just going to manually close these for right now. But we're going to be boarding from 1 left, or aircraft 1 left, and open. We'll keep the bulk cargo door closed as well. We don't need any bulk cargo loading. All right, that is set. Go ahead and get rid of the ISCS for now. Are you going to arm failures today? Jeremy Harvey. What a great question. Of course, that was the first thing I did when I powered up this airplane. I armed the failures. So good question, man. Our failures are armed, so we're just going to rock with it. We're going to see what happens. Let's come down to the box here. Let's get our radio stack 1, radio stack 2 is on. Everything looks good there. And let's go ahead and plug away at the flight plan. So we do have a current AIRAC. That's good. Now, I'm testing something here because I haven't had enough time. There's a way to set this up so you can pull from SimBrief. Now, this is my mistake here. So Whoa, this page is modeled now? Interesting. I'm just kind of messing around here, ACAR's thing here. So there is a way to do a knit request. That's the work in progress. And I'm going to do some more reading on it, but I know they are working on having this actually pull your data from SimBrief, and you can see that here. If you go to general, it's not under general. Here we go, under add-on accounts. So I've got SimBrief on, and ignore AirRack and aircraft type mismatch. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on just for now, and then set payload fuel to be SimBrief, and I've got my account linked. Now there's something else you have to set up, and I'm going to check real quick here, make sure I'm not doing something silly. And this is part of my, like, should I stream tonight or should I just do it all tomorrow? I figure tonight we're just going to kind of do it from the wayside. Oh my gosh, the 319 is also available, dude. All right, let's see here. EFB. If you're anything from FMGS to someone else can be trip fuel. I'm trying to get it to pull from the SimBrief. Just click init in McDo. I did, and it came back. Now maybe I have something. Wait a second. Let's go back here to the init page. Let's do this. Let's do San Diego, Oakland. Maybe I need to put the city pair in there. No? Oh well. All right, we'll do it the old school way. We'll try it on the next one. Cactus 357 is going to be our call sign. 357. Tom Pasco with the $2 dono, man. What's up? Thank you so much. Appreciate you. He says, Toliss will make you drink the xplane 12 Kool-Aid. Oh, here we go. xplane 12 Kool-Aid. I know, my friend. I know. We're going up to 360. Thanks for your dono. I appreciate you, man. 44,000 is the Tropo right now. That is set. And flight plan. We're going to depart San Diego off 27. I was going to be on VATSIMFlix. Here's my I've got an interesting thing with VATSIM. The connect button is grayed out to me.
Safe flight, sir.
A Prodigy, thank you for the $5 bank angle check. Right back at you, sir. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for that. Hopefully we have a safe flight here. No issues. Thank you for your support. $5 bank angle check. Right back at you, my friend. We're on the Padres 2 departure out to Orso's transition, so that's good. We'll go ahead and insert that. From Orso's, we're picking up, actually, we're going to Corez and then Argood for the MZO 3. Wow, it's been a while since I've been to Oakland. Corez. But yeah, so I installed the latest XPilot, and I got my settings configured, but it still won't let me connect. The connect button just stays grayed out. So I don't know what's going on with that. Argood, we'll insert that, and then Oakland, we're going to come here, we're going to do arrival. Let's set up for the ILS 1-2 into Oakland. Would it be 1-2? 1-2 is maybe 30. We'll do 3-0. MZO 3. Novia. So we'll go ahead and insert that. I'm going to go ahead and clear that out from Argood. We're going direct to MZO. Well, that's how we have it filed. It's kind of funky, but that's how it's filed. So that works for me. Our flight plan is in the box. The colors on the McDo look better. Yeah, the colors do look really good on the McDo. And yes, my favorite thing is we can pop them out too. So I forgot. I could have just had that popped out for you. I tell you what. Let's just load up the whole box, and then we will fire up the APU. That way we can see if there's any changes to the sounds or anything like that. We can just focus on external stuff. But right now we'll do a quick return. Remember, in the Toliss, especially if you got random failures on an X-plane, which is one of my favorite things to do, fly around, is make sure you always set yourself up with an air return, because the one time that you don't set yourself up for a return in your secondary is the time that you're going to have a problem. So it's just good practice. We do have to look at weather. Man, but I can't believe the 319 is also available. So now I'm jonesing to fly the 319, guys. Gosh, there's not enough time in a day. Not enough time in a day. No weather information available. Well, let's do it the old school way. We're going to bring up the old map. which has been detailed. I gotta say, I didn't look at this before. I think it's been changed a little bit in xplane 12. Am I crazy, or had they been messing around with the map? I think I saw weather on it too. I think Sim Aviator had a stream going where I saw some weather on the map. Winds are 250 at 10 knots. We'll throw those in there. Temperature is off the ECAM 26. Beautiful afternoon in Southern California here today, so that goes in the temp box. QNH is 2986. 2986 is set. I don't know what we're going to put in the box. I'm not going to look it up. We'll just put 500 for now. That's our secondary. Nothing to hard tune. We'll go to the init B page. We're going to leave it there for now. We'll get rid of the map. Toliss got V1 to stay on xplane. Benny, it's, I tell you what, if anybody's going to get me to stay on xplane, it's going to be Toliss. I'll tell you that. Did you enter SimBrief ID number and not your ID? Yes, Aerodynamics, I did. And it's correct. It's correct. I just here we go. So these are, and this is cool. So you have this from ground. We'll go ahead and pull the chocks. This is something that they're trying to minimize the use of the ISCS, which I can appreciate. I really like that, getting away from the ISCS and using what's on the airplane itself. So like this is the mechanic or the ground call. This is how you would talk to the ground crew through the mechanic push button here. So I've got external power connected, which we need because the GPU, or we don't have the APU on, but I'll pull the chocks from now. What else do we have in the services page? We've got a pushback distance, which is in meters. Found that out. It's in meters, not feet. And requested fuel amount and all that. So let's change what we need. We actually got 15.5. Is that what we need? Let me take a look real quick for our fuel, and then we're going to fire up the APU and get out of here. Last thing I'd hate to do is take off and not have enough fuel. So our block fuel for this flight for Cactus 357, our gate fuel is 15.0, so perfect. We got exactly what we need. So we can go ahead and leave that blank. Our cargo, that's what's on board, okay. And de-icing. You can have a real-time de-icing, and if you don't do it in icing conditions, you're going to have issues. So ask me how I know. I found that out, and that's kind of what happened with the 340 stream. But let's go ahead and bump these up here. We got 15. I want to just go 15 too. We'll do quick refuel. I don't need that much cargo. We don't need that much there. Let's go ahead and apply those. We've got a full load going up today. We'll go ahead and apply these load settings. That gives us a zero fuel weight of 160. I'm going to pop this out. Makes it a little bit easier. 160.8 with a CG of 29.7. Block fuel on board is 15.2. Let's go ahead and put that right there. Calculate some fuel numbers. Perfect. That is done, and we'll do Toga thrust. Active flight plan. Yep. 50, 50, 54 is what we need. But we can probably do a flaps 2 out of here. So 40, 40, and 44. So let's do that while we're in the box. 140, 140, and 144. Now they are working on a perf calculator. We'll look at that in the EFB. It's not quite finished yet, but they are working on that, which is also awesome to see. This is down 0.5, 30.2 on the CG, and this is a flaps 2 takeoff. Now I don't think I need to set the THS. We're going to find out on the takeoff roll though. All right. Took a minute to get settled up there. Sorry, I've been heads down. What did I say the meter was in the secondary? Is 29er. What was the meter? 29er86. That was in the secondary. All right, so let's go ahead and set 2986. I have them linked, so they should all work together. That looks good. Let's go ahead and check our fuel. It is on board and balanced up to the overhead. Let's get our tank pumps on, and let's fire up the APU. Seatbelt sign can come on as well. We no longer need the fuel page down there. We'll put this on perf page, and we'll put this on the flight plan page. And let's go ahead and fire up the APU, take a listen outside, shall we? Let me make sure my sounds are set up here. All right. We're back. They are now both out, is what I've been told. That's awesome. What are you using for quick camera views? I'm using the default camera system in xplane. So you just slew yourself around, and then you can save views by binding the view key. So I use the numpad for all my views. So I do like left control, numpad 1, 2, 3, and 4. That saves the views, and then I can just quick switch to the views 1, 2, 3, and 4. John Franco, I agree, man. The flag looks much better on the Airways than the American. Absolutely. Kevin says, do I need wing lights on for departure and arrival during normal ops? Yes. Here in the States we do. Christian says, my clouds look better in X-Plane 11 with X Enviro. Oh my goodness. Already. He's already starting. No ATC 370 or 360. Does anybody know why it would not allow me to connect? I find that weird. And we can move this out of the way. I think that's new. We'll keep the main integral lights on. We'll get rid of the flood, right? We need a little bit of flood. A little bit of flood looks good. A little bit of floodlight. We don't need this flood on the center pedestal. We'll get that off. Let's come over here. We're squawking 2000. That can go on. We'll leave this into transponder mode. This goes into the up position. Everything else looks good. 360. Let's go ahead and turn the bleed on. Disconnect from external power. I need to bind some views here real quick. Let's bind another view here. Let's bind this view right here. I like that. Try reinstall XPilot entirely. That's what I did. Sin City. So I completely reinstalled X-Plane or XPilot for 12. It just doesn't seem to work. We'll do that view right there. That looks good. So we got a couple engine views there. We've got an engine view, and we don't have a wing view on this side, but it's fine. We can do that later. All right, let's go ahead and close up the doors. So we can do this from the menu, if I'm not mistaken. We'll hit the attendant. We'll go ahead and go closed. Arm doors and cross-check. Passengers are on board. Let's go to the mechanic. We'll go ahead and pull the external power, please. And we don't want to go back. We want to go back 50 meters. Let's do 50 meters, and let's just make sure it is clear behind us. We got to close the doors. So 50 meters straight back, that should be enough to give us a right-hand turnout. I do not have the Carta engine on here. This is a default. This is the default X-Plane 12 version of the Toliss 321. I'm going to go back. Let's go ahead and close all of you, please. Look at the yellow electric pump is on. This is correctly simulated here. With the cargo doors closing, the electric pump is running, which is pressurizing the yellow system here to close the cargo doors. Love to see that. Love to see that. There they go. Nice. They're closed up. And doors and windows, they are closed and armed. Beautiful. So now we can go back to the pushback. Go ahead and request. A little bit of a pause, and let's get our beacon light on. Let's get our tiller cam online. Let's get ready. All right. We're requesting pushback. I see the pushback truck coming. We're disconnected. Everything is looking good. The amber color on the screens is now darker than before. Is that what it is? This is a little bit darker. It looks good. I'll tell you that. It looks good right here. I think maybe when I pop it out, it's a little bit brighter. But yeah, it does look good. It definitely looks good. All right, I think he's connecting. We're going to go straight back 50 meters. This is X-Plane 12, Hudson King. This is X-Plane 12, my friend. All right, I think if I just release the brake. Oh, there we go. Brakes released, clear to push. Here we go. Real time, real weather, X-Plane 12. Let's do it. AJ, I know. Gonna need them, my friend. 2 streams today. It's been a long day, my friend. Long day. Nice pushback there. That'll work. Push complete. Set brakes. Brakes are set. Clear to disconnect. Thanks for the push. We'll see you next time. All right, let's go ahead and turn engine 1 from this view here. And then we're going to turn the second one from the inside view, and I want to show you guys. I want to show you here the air cut off. That's good. Let's just make sure we do have everything. Actually, I can do this, right? Watch this. I'm going to put this up here so we can monitor the start. Starting one. Just watch the behavior of the startup. Very, very good. Maze, I know, dude. Dude, Maze Shook, I'm sorry about your TV situation. I saw your I saw your comment earlier. That sucks, man. I know the feeling, though. There's ignition. Fantastic startup. Look at the fuel flows. Jeremy, they're not bad at all. I agree with you, man. This is, remember, this is straight default Toliss here. But the way that this spooled up here was very good. They got the Avail light. Perfect. 770 pounds an hour. I'm looking for 2, 4, 6. Yeah, we're pretty much in the ballpark. Absolutely love it. All right, let's go ahead and turn 2. We're going to do a 2-engine taxi out since it's San Diego. You hear that PTU barking for a minute. I want to bind, I'll bind another view here in a minute. Should I do inside window or outside window? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if I want the window tint or not. I guess we'll do window tint for this one. We'll come up a little bit. We'll do window tint on this one. Let's save that view. I'm not sure, Kevin. I feel like they were, but here's the thing. I used to run the sound pack all the time on this. I don't remember what the last default sounds sounded like, if that makes sense. But what you're hearing now is default. I have no mods on here. The textures, like the dirty wing textures and stuff like that, a little bit of wear and tear on the engine, that's from the livery. That's from this specific livery, but everything else is seeing is completely default. Are there any cases when you start engine 2 first? Yes, there are a few. There are a few. One notably would be when you're on the ground or doing a huffer cart start. So it looks like we got 2 good starts there. We're going to move the engine start switch back to normal. And then we're going to arm the speed brakes manually. And let's go ahead and extend flaps 2 from here. We'll take a listen. Pretty quiet on the flap sounds. Turn down the environment a little bit. Alright. Just tweaking my sounds. Looking good. That looks good. Alright, we got 2 good starts. Everything is good. Let's come up to the overhead. APU bleed can come off. Master switch can come off. Taxi light is coming on. And brakes release. Okay, that is really loud. My apologies. That was very loud. Now, external, if I turn that down. Hold on, save that. If I turn the external down, I think. Nope, that's still pretty loud. Alright. Apologies. Alright, I'm going to do this. Taxi light is on. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Let's get our taxi out here. Brakes are released. Let's go. Love it. All right. Let's go all the way down to 27. Let's bring our range down. Constraint mode is on up to 360. Everything else looks good. Let's go flight control check here as soon as we come out of the turn. I don't know if I bound the disconnect button yet. I don't think I have. But it does function properly. So let me just see if I have it bound, because this would be actually a good time to show you all how it's supposed to work. There's a lot of confusion in the pedal disconnect push button over here. First and foremost, flight controls: full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder. Aha! Full left, full right, neutral. Now it doesn't help that I'm not on the center of the taxiway. So what is the pedal disconnect push button? The button right here in the middle of your tiller. What the pedal disconnect push button does is it physically removes the linkage from the rudder pedals and the slight nose wheel steering that is available on the Airbus. So even when you're taxiing on the ground with no tiller, you can still go a little bit to the left, you can go a little bit to the right. That's just with my rudder inputs. If I press the pedal disconnect push button down and I can go full left rudder, I do not have any roll to the left or to the right. Now I gotta try to stay on the taxiway here, so let me try that again. So I'm gonna push the pedal disconnect down. I got full left rudder. The airplane is going straight. That is how it's supposed to work. If I release, look, now it's gonna turn to the left. Because I released that push button, the linkage reconnects, and it's actually pretty violent if you do it in a turn. So I may or may not have allegedly done that one time. So make sure you have your pedal disconnect push button down while you check the rudders. That is how it's supposed to work in the airplane. That's how it's supposed to work in the Phoenix. That's how it's supposed to work in Microsoft. It's not properly simulated anywhere but right here in X-Plane 12 and then in the Toliss. For some reason, I think there's a little glitch going on with Microsoft and the Phoenix and how they have it bound up. But this is how it's supposed to work, and it works correctly in this sim. So flight controls have been checked. Let's go auto brakes, max takeoff config check, and cabin status will hit the forward call, and that is normal. All right, our takeoff checks are complete. Let me go ahead and bring these back. I know sometimes I like to pop these out so you can see them a little bit better, but I gotta tell you, this cockpit looks pretty nice. I feel like they've upgraded the textures a little bit. Like this little bit of texturing here on between here. This looks good. Definitely looks good. All right, we got climb nav 1FD2 360 is blue, cabin ready, drive by. Ah, Chaos, thank you. You're correct. It is in the fly-by-wire as well. I'm sorry. If you input tiller and rudder at the same time, Pascal Hans, you can absolutely do it as long as the pedal disconnect push button is down. That is how you, that's why you try to do the flight control check when you're going straight. But if you are in a turn, you can have left rudder, I mean like a full left rudder flight control check, and you could be turning the airplane to the right if your tiller is coming to the right. So that's how that works. I think when you're missing my right pedal, oh no. No, I got both pedals on. We're looking good. Yeah, Benny, the cockpit texture looks pretty nice. This is much cleaner up here for sure. Overhead also looks cleaner to me. Are you guys back? Are we back here? Let's see. Yo, we're back? All right, we're just going to go from the runway. Let's see what happens here. Let's go. We might salvage this. We're back? All right. Unreal. But can you guys even see the stream? Hopefully you can. Ooh, test the autosave? Interesting. I didn't think about that. Let's test the autosave. Let's test it. I don't know. It was at 5 minutes, right? Turn off stream failures. Oh, boy. Remember the epic Toliss autosave? I do remember the epic Toliss autosave. Let's see what happens here. If this doesn't work, then I will officially Alt F4 until tomorrow. But I had to at least give it a try. We had to at least give it a try. Everything was looking so good. Everything was looking so good. I've never had a Vulcan device error. ever. It's interesting. I don't know if it auto saves on the ground. We're gonna find out. You came back and we were here already. Awesome. That's definitely autosave doesn't work on the ground. Ah. Well, I'll tell you what. We're gonna do the quickest engine startup you've ever seen. I'll show you right now. Actually, it doesn't work on the ground. I don't know where it was. Should we test it or should we just start up new? Should we just test it? Oh, it only starts when you're in the air. Okay, so watch this. We're going to do, this is the fastest, somebody start a clock. This is going to be the fastest 321 startup you've ever seen. Ready? Here we go. I'm going to go heads down. There we go. We're going to go high pressure air. We're going to go here. We're going to come up to the overhead. We're going to go boom. Why don't I have any sounds? That could be a problem. Do you guys hear it? I don't hear my sim. Stand by. That could be a problem. You hear sounds, but I hear no sounds. Oh, I wonder if it messed up. Hold on. Why would it change this? Okay, so now I have sounds, I think. Well, I have no sounds. This is going to be annoying. You guys have sounds. That is so bizarre. I have to restart it. Oh my gosh. And you lost sounds? Rip. Just listen to your own stream. Alright, sound's gone. Alt F4. We're going to try it again. I can start the airplane in like probably, I don't know how much. It'd be quick. Let me just make sure I got everything over here. Alright, this is the last attempt. Last attempt. Here we go. You can hear the mouse clicks. Rip. Hey, hit that like button. 247 likes for watching X-Plane crash. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. Jeff Weber coming in with $20 bomb for a black screen and watching X-Plane load, dude. Here's to you, Captain, for all effort and demonstrating X-Plane 12. Jeff, hey, man, that means a lot. I appreciate the dono, my friend. I'm sorry this is not turning out to be what you want it to be as far as seeing the airplane flying around, but I appreciate your support and thank you for the encouraging words because I need them right about now because if this doesn't work, I'm probably going to Alt F4. We're going to see. Start with engines on the runway. We're trying it. Phoenix 320, here we go. No, I'm not loading up Microsoft. I'm Microsoft out today. How about that Caravan flying today, though? Caravan was pretty sweet. It's already 6:30. Goodness. Let's go. Come on, sounds. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you, man. I just want to show off the 330. But it's so weird that I got a Vulcan. I've never had one, ever. I hope that's not a sign of things to come with X-Plane 12. I don't think that's a Toliss problem. I think that's an X-Plane problem. Flight Force, thanks for the $5 super chat. And then if you change sounds options while in flight, messes with X-Plane audio, you have to reset. Oh boy. Thank you, Flight Force, for your $5, man. I hope this fixed it here. We'll see. Vodka's already in the climb out. Nice, man. Team Vodka, did you get... Okay, I have sounds. Do you have sounds? I have sounds. Does everybody else have sounds? Let's do this. I'm going to get my volume mixer back up here. The shot of crown is for you. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, Maze. All right. Did you guys have sounds there on load-in? Let's do this. Affirm? You did? All right, here we go. Battery 1, battery 2, avail. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Let's come here. Ground services. High pressure air. Joystick actions, quick align. There we go. That's on. That's on. Strobe, beacon, nav. We're on the runway, so we're going to light it up right now. We're going to go cross bleed open. We're going to go ignition mode to ignition start, and we're going to turn. I got to recycle these. I'm trying to start before I even have ECAM. It's not good. Turn you on, turn you on. That looks good. Let's come over here and knit. Let's just see if I can pull this here. I'm curious. Hey! It pulled our flight plan. Check that out, huh? Look, whoa, it pulled everything. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? Departure 27. We were on the Padres 2, insert, perfect, and Oakland, arrival, ILS 30, EMSO 3, insert. We're not doing a secondary. If we toast an engine, I'm not going to be very happy. Doors are shut. Engines are not turning. I need to reset both of you. And start. Number 2. Come on, baby. There she goes. 2 is turning. Cross bleeds open. Seatbelts on. Auto arm. That's good to go. Oh, should have the fuel tank pumps on as well. That's done. What were our V speeds? 140. 140 and 144. We were a flap 2. That is done. And how do we have our fuel is on board? Our fuel is on board. Let me just double check everything else here. It's already pulled everything from SimBrief. That's amazing. Look at that. We're coming back. Let's go tiller cam on. Hopefully it doesn't crash the sim. Flight plan page there. The crossbleed is shut. Go ahead and turn 1. This is how you get a hot start in real life. Don't do this. That's turning. We should probably do the init B. The fuel predict page already have our numbers. It does. Gross weight is 163.8. That's accurate. Constraint mode on. I think it was like 29 or 88. 360 is set. Number 1 is on the turn. Hey, look at that. I'm done. Whatever the time is, we're done. We'll go ahead and pull the chocks, though. Let's go ahead and pull the chocks. And we're going to leave external power on because we're still turning. Whenever I heard low-cost carriers did quick turnarounds, this is exactly what I thought it meant. 2985, thanks, Vodka. 85 is set, lights are on. PMA is taking over. Look at that nice amber. Where we go. That's good. We'll go ahead and get rid of you. Boom. Boom, boom. We're done. We're ready for takeoff. Stop the clock. 2 minutes, 44 seconds since battery 1. I like it. Look at that. We are ready to go. All right. Let's try this again, shall we? Let's just make sure. Double check here. Even though we don't have any ATC, we'll go back here. We'll put this back there. And we'll arm you. Flaps 2. All right. Auto brakes max, takeoff config check. I feel like I'm in the, oh, here we go again with this thing. I feel like I am in the real world sim. All right, who's ready to blast out of here? Hey, I'm gonna need y'all's help. We're gonna go full Toga. We have 118 likes. I need you guys to just smash the like button right now. I was so close to Alt F4ing the stream, but we're going to go full Toga out of San Diego, max volume. Smash the like button for me if you can, huh? I'm going to cycle the parking brake so I can release it. Oh yeah, thanks. We should close the crossbleed. Not the end of the world, but crossbleed is closed. Let's do it. Spool them up 50, nose forward on the stick. Enjoy the takeoff. Stable. Whoa. That is spicy good. I gotta turn it down a little bit. Goodness, man, Toga SRS or runway. Auto thrust is blue. Can't find my thrust levers. There they are. We're through 100 knots. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. You're up. Oh, a little over rotation. Flyby. Holy. Sorry for the ears there. I officially have ringing ears. We're navin'. Let's try one more. Why do we have, look at our EGT. Look at our EGT. We have a 611 EGT. It's amber. Thrust, climb, nav, auto thrust. Look at those fuel flows. They were upward of 8,000 pounds. Nope, forgot to this one. I'm just impressed at the EGT. Okay, here's the thing. We're going to have to do a test. I'm going to have to ramp up the OAT and just go Toga and see what our EGTs are. But that was pretty good. We were in Toga thrust. There were 611. We had an amber. We didn't get an ECAM though, but I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen in real life. All right, we're naving out. There's SP. Let's go flaps 1. Unfortunately, when we did our Vulcan air, we lost all our views. So I've got Orbix. I tried to sync up my Orbix as best I could. I said I wouldn't do it, and I'm probably going to uninstall it and just wait for an official Orbix patch. But I have my Orbix synced right now. Let's go do sound settings.
I had a solo cross-country for my PPA but got cancelled because of the weather. At least now WR can enjoy some top-notch V1 content.
Ellie Sammy, as we go flap 0 here, thank you for the $2 super chat, my friend. He says, solo PPL got canceled? Hey, man, you can, it's all right, it's probably for the better. You want to have good weather on your solo, for sure. But that's awesome, man. Thank you for your support. Hope you enjoyed the stream up to Oakland, California, my friend. Man, but seeing that EGT when we were in Toga thrust, that was and you noticed it was only on one engine. This is what I love. Like, see how it's not symmetrical? 76, 75, 80s, 553, 544, N1s are slightly off. That is very true to real life. Very rare, if ever, do you ever see engines exactly identical across the board. Very rare, if ever. So I love to see that little bit of randomization going on. Jeremy says, I can't believe I'm saying this, but no sound pack needed for this airplane. Jeremy, I'm inclined to agree with you, man. I just need to figure out, let's do this. Let's go autopilot 1. I'm going to get my views rebound here, because on that Vulcan air, we lost where we had everything bound. Oh, you know what? I hope it won't, I don't have anything bound for trim on these knee pads. Okay, so it does have a 3D sound cone. That's good. We'll do this view here. And then let's come over here, do a trailing edge view. We're going to save the trailing edge view. Sorry, you guys have to witness this. I normally do this before stream starts, but alright, so that is set. Now let's run across this side and let's save this view. And ooh, we got some, this ought to be, you know, this might actually be a pretty good looking flight with the way the sun is setting up here. We're going to come all the way back. Do this one, we'll do a slight window tint. I like that. Right there. All right, we are all safe. So no window, a little bit of window. I'm liking the wing texture. This looks good. Nice little reflection there. I did see the 319 for Microsoft Flicks, but I heard it was very much a no-go. Like I heard, but that's all I've heard. Hey, if the worst thing we have here is a discon between Padres and Orsaz, I'm going to be happy with it. So to clear out this disco, we're just going to go right here, clear disco, insert, looking good. There's 11,000 feet. Let's go ahead and kill our lights. And we'll do a forward call, let the flight attendants know that we are out of 10,000 feet, or the sterile. Let's go up here, see XP view here for a minute. I don't really like the view right now. And you know what? Weather radar works, doesn't it? So let's just turn this on and auto. Auto. These are all little things here. We're on TARA. All right. Let's enjoy some Tollissing. We're doing it. We're doing big things. All right, as soon as we get to cruise, we're going to go over the change log, and we're going to check some stuff out. How was my football Sunday? It was rough, dude. It was rough. Apparently, my two teams are the worst teams in the NFL, and starting quarterback is out for like 10 weeks. So, and I was rooting for the Broncos to beat the Seahawks, and that didn't work out either. So it was rough. It was a rough day for me, football-wise, but it was a great day cooking. I'm going to go ahead and cut the corner here to save a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and go direct to, in the turn, flyby. Not bad, not bad. Do I feel a thrust difference between CFM and IE? It's mostly on the ground, like taxiing. Mostly taxing. V1, when do you ever open or close the cross bleed except for cross engine start? And why do you... Oh, great. Here we go. Oh, my goodness. Well, here we go. Random faults. You know what? I think Toliss gave me a special key. What do we got here? Engine 1 EIU fault. All right, clear the costume. I don't have my freaking iPad with me either, so clear engine 1, clear engine 1. Auto flight, auto thrust off. Are you serious? Clear auto flight. Status. Engine 1 approach idle only. Cat 2 only. Auto thrust is in op. Cat 3 and reverser 1 is in op. Alright, clear status. Toliss. I swear Toliss just... Look, we're in thrust lock. This is... Alright. Folescraft, thank you for the $5 super chat. Good afternoon from DFW, Texas. Represent, my friend. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate the support. Appreciate you, man. I'm just kind of baffled here right now. So, how many times have we flown Toliss and we haven't had a random fault? Now, the first time that I was showing off, I'm like, yeah, I got my random faults on. We're good to go. I don't have my iPad with me, my actual work iPad, so we can't dig in the comm. But we're going to talk about what happened. So, basically, we have an EIU fault in engine 1. Interface unit is out, so we've lost auto thrust. There's 18,000 feet. We'll go ahead and set standards, STDs for you, me, and the jump seater. So if you lose auto thrust, the airplane, and this is a perfectly simulated system right here. This is a perfectly simulated fault. So because auto thrust is now off, a couple things happen. The auto thrust light extinguishes here in the FCU. The thrust levers, we're like, what the Airbus is like, okay, what do? I don't have auto thrust anymore. I'm giving it to you. But to be safe, what it does is it just locks the thrust levers in their current position. So right now we're in the climb detent, and it's got a thrust lock up here, meaning that no matter what I do, the thrust is not going to change until I manually change or manually move the thrust levers. So let's see if we do that here. I'm going to come out of the climb detent. Look at that, and thrust lock goes away. And I'm going to put them right back in the climb detent. And so now we just have manual thrust on this flight. So our column 1 of the FMA, our auto thrust F column, is blank. We have no auto thrust. When it rains, it pours. This is what happens when I try to do nice things for you guys. All right, so we're going to operate with no auto thrust. You can see that the ignition has automatically turned on. I believe that is because the EIU has faulted. And I don't think we have any pop breakers. Let's just take a look at the overhead here. I don't think anything has popped. Those are calm. So you can see where the hand pops up. There is over 100 circuit breakers that are now modeled. EIS. I can't quite, it's kind of a bad angle. Let me come up here and look top down. We gotta see if we can't quite see. Is that popped? I don't think so. No, that's in. Okay, everything else is in. So we got nothing popped up top, which is good. And nothing popped on the back here. Engine 1 FADIC and EIU. Ironically, it's collared and pooled. Engine 1 and 2 EVMU. Okay, well, that's popped. I thought thrust lock meant thrust last known. Maybe that's what it stands for. I was always taught thrust lock. That's just, maybe it's the American versus the French way of doing it. So we're thrust lock, but we've already moved it. So now we're just manual thrust. We're climbing up to 360. It's not going to be an issue. We're just going to have to pay a little bit more attention to our airspeed. That's all. I'm going to go ahead and bring the volume down a little bit here, the master volume. I'm going to tweak these a little bit. You know, a realistic volume for the engines is probably like right about there. Right about there in a 321. But all right, we're climbing out. What up, Slam Cannon? What's going on, dude? We're flying the Toliss, and we've got our first failure already. EIU, engine 1, is in op. So the status page, not much else we can do. Approach idle only. So could have an asymmetrical thrust situation. We have to see how it handles it here when we get on the ground. I'd be curious to see if it pumps up number 2. But thrust reverser 1 is in op, so we'll just be idle reverse on touchdown, and we're good to go. All right. Do you ever program the alternate flight plan? John Franco, every time. Okay, so let's go over the changelog. So for changelog purposes and talking purposes, I'm actually going to turn the sim down even further. Let's just do this. Let's go sounds. I'm going to just so we can go over some of the changelog. So that's going to come down low. I'm going to just keep this out and like, I don't know. I'm just going to keep it big to remind myself of what we have to deal with. So we'll come out here on the wing view. I'm going to get my changelog out. There we go. I do love being able to do this on the fly. All right. Let's go over some stuff here. Xplane 12, aircraft, Toliss 321, change a log. All right. We're going to just go from top down. There's a lot to digest here. I'm going to read them kind of slow. Let's go over the major new features for the new build. This is 1.3.2. Changes from 1.3.2 to version 1.4. So this is the latest and greatest version. I believe it is available. Somebody said it's available on the store right now. So you can check it out. Cinemtopia says the flight manual says Toga lock appears on the FMA to indicate Toga thrust is lock, so I assume it's lock and not last no. Yeah, I was always taught thrust lock. I mean, this could be a language thing. All right, Xplane 12 adaptations. Starting with, these are some of my favorites here. Custom engine model for more realistic thrust and fuel flow values and new engine failure modes. Well, I think this is a new engine failure mode, and I think you get to experience it firsthand. I'm kind of kicking myself I don't have my iPad, but see, the thing is I'm supposed to be on call tomorrow, so I have my iPad at home charging right now in case I actually need it for real work, or else we could dig through the comm. So we have custom engine model, and you guys got to see the startup. The startup is very slow with the IE engines. They start up much slower than CFMs. The fuel flows were great. The EGT, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if it had anything to do with we had a little bit of overtemp on departure. It wasn't a crazy overtemp, but we were at 611, so we were up there in the amber range. I wonder if that had something to do with the failure. Anyway, let's continue. Circuit breakers with accurate system response. Currently, Toliss has over 100 circuit breakers available for manipulation. 100 different circuit breakers. That is pretty darn good. ACAR's functionality for direct download of sim brief plans into the active or the secondary flight plan. So we talked about that. We got to see that live on this after we had the Vulcan device error. You got to see that it changed. I'm going to have to, I want to do some outside view, but it's going to be kind of hard with this thing going on here, but it's all right. Let's sit in the jump seat. How about that? Because we can kind of see a little bit better. Let's do jump seat view here as I continue to read through this. So we got to see the SimBrief integration off the top. ACAR's functionality to retrieve takeoff data for various runways of the departure airport. So this is something I gotta have to dig around in a little bit more. I'm not sure 100% what is completely what we can get and what's not, but it says that it's the major new features. So tomorrow, you can expect me streaming tomorrow in X-Plane 12 again. We're gonna do another Airbus test flight. I think we're gonna take up the 319 if it's available. I think I have access to the 319. I'm not sure if it's available publicly yet or not. I'm literally living through this with you guys right now as they come out. So, but tomorrow you can expect me in the 319. We're going to test some more of this stuff. ACAR's functionality to retrieve wind data from SimBrief and enter them into the flight plan. This is a big deal for you long haulers. So for any of you long haulers, you need wind data, you want it from SimBrief, you want it to match your fuel burns and fuel flows, that's going to be a plus for you. That's kind of a big deal when you start doing flights over 500 miles. You could really start to see a difference. Especially if you start taking up the NEO and you start doing long stuff. Maybe you're doing JetBlue, Boston to London, something like that. The new ACP interactive screen to request ground service, change fuel or passengers without using the ISCS. So I kind of went over that briefly. I was just trying to be fast today because I'm running out of daylight here. It's 7 o'clock already my time. But tomorrow we'll look at that more. We'll mess with the current ground service thing in the ACP, which is nice. EFB on captain or co-pilot side, currently featuring Avitab and weight and balance computer. We saw that earlier. Database holds are available besides pilot computed holds. So before you had a pilot hold and computed holds, but now you actually have database holds, which if I'm reading this right, if you're on say you're on an arrival and you get a hold over XFix and it has a hold in the database, like a pre-programmed hold that's on your chart, it should automatically pull that from the database and do that hold instead of doing a computed hold or a manually entering the hold. So I'm pretty sure that's what they're getting out there. That could be a big deal for you guys that like to do FNO stuff via very busy VATSIM flying, things like that. If you get a hold over waypoint, you'll know that your database is going to pull the correct holding procedure for you right off the chart. You shouldn't have to enter it manually. Michael Bogna has become private pilot. Thank you, sir. Welcome to the channel. Exclamation point, welcome. Appreciate you, man. Michael Bogna, the official VATSIM, my VATSIM liaison. All right, continuing on here, offset function is now available. We touched on this in the 340. Basically, you can do an offset route. That's kind of cool in case you're doing track routes. Here's a big one. Addition of new failure modes for a total of 210 different failure modes. These include recoverable computer failures. So kind of, I think we saw some of this in the Phoenix 320 a couple days ago. We did a fault and we had a computer fault that was recoverable. So it looks like we have including recoverable computer faults, which I would say, if you're going to say what is the most common fault you get on the Airbus, probably some type of computer fault because there are so many and a lot of them are resettable. We actually have a couple system reset tables and procedures to help us reset certain computers. More than 70 new ECAM messages. So 70 new ECAM messages is pretty good. Animated push buttons in the cockpit, moving pilot seats and armrests. So we saw that too. I got to pull that up. 2 in 1 day, Brad K. I know, man. It's a busy day for me. Shaq Oatmeal, what's up? Good evening. Cool stuff here. Would you rate this higher than the Phoenix? Shaq, I haven't had enough time in it. And you know what? It's hard. It's really hard for me to rate 1 versus 2 when you're looking at different sims. You know, if this 321 was in Microsoft, then it would be much easier to compare them head to head. I need to dig more. I'm only scratching the surface right now with this. This is my first flight with this version of the Airbus. I need a little bit more time before I start pitting it against each other, especially if you just want to talk systems. But from what I've seen already, I'm already impressed. So here's 35 for 36, 1,000 feet to level off. We got to keep an eye on that because we do not have any auto thrust. All right, there's some minor new features, and there's one that's right at the top of the list that sticks out to me. And this is a big deal because this is a very common scenario that you run into in real life, and that is VLS increases with speed brake deflection. We're going to test this on approach, but VLS, which is the single amber line here on your airspeed scale, is the speed at which a couple of protections will start to kick in if you go into VLS too far. But the problem is VLS directly corresponds to the spoiler deflection on the airplane as well. So for instance, if I am really heavy and maybe I'm starting a bank turn, you're going to see VLS creep up a little bit. If I were to deploy speed brakes in that same scenario, VLS is going to shoot up even faster and even more. This especially comes into play when you're doing a descent. Maybe you're getting a speed restriction from ATC, say, hey, maintain 180 knots, and you're in a super heavy 321, you're at flaps 1, or you're clean. You're clean, and you're trying to get to below your VFE speed, but you have the spoilers out, and VLS is already up to the top, so you can get yourself into a little window that you just have to kind of manipulate the speed brake to get the VLS to drop, to get flaps out, and then put the speed brake back out. So we're going to check that out later on the descent if we remember. But that's a big one. Let's see. So we're out star, we're leveling. So now we're going to have to manually adjust thrust, which is going to be interesting. I'm going to leave it here and climb. Let's go ahead, and I can see the trend arrow is coming up. So I'm going to pull the thrust back just a little bit. Maybe that was too much. Okay. Well, we're just going to be going back and forth, really. There's not much else we can do. Let me see my EPR. Let's go ahead and come back. I wish I had my comm table or something. All right, a little bit of noise. I got to do a calibration on my side stick, it looks like. But that should be, or not my side stick, my thrust levers. But yeah, if someone has a an FCOM or something, pull up a cruise cruise power setting for me, please, for the N1s. That would be helpful if I had my iPad with me. I could reset the failures. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, Chaos. Kevin Thomas, I'm not sure about the Neo yet. I'm sure they're going to include some of these features with the Neo, but this is literally my first go at it here with you guys live, so I'm not going to say definitively about the Neo, but I would only expect they're going to continue to improve upon their whole product line, the 1921 and the Neo. There's a couple other little minor things. The ETP circle on the ND, that the equitime point, we've modified that. We've talked about that multiple times, especially flying down in South America. So they added the circle around it, which is kind of cool. Just a little visual fix there. Let's see. More realistic ND behavior on ADR and NIT completion. Here's one that we made a big deal of in Microsoft, so we need to make a big deal of it here in xplane. Open passenger doors now have an effect on the temperature in the adjacent zone. So I made a big deal about that in the Phoenix on Microsoft, like, hey, it got super hot, let's open a window or whatever, and it cools down. Well, it looks like Toliss is following suit and implementing a nice little feature like that as well. That's really more of a concern, I should say, like temperature zones in the summer when it's hot and you're in the desert somewhere and you're trying to board an airplane. airlines will have boarding limitations on how hot the cabin can be, or that the cabin zone can be, before you can actually board passengers. So that's really when it comes in effect. In the wintertime, when it's cold, it's cold. There's not much you can do about it. You just hope your passengers have jackets and blankets and stuff. But hopefully you have a running APU. But that's that can really come into effect if, say, maybe your APU restricted. This is the biggest one. So no APU or no APU bleed, and you're in Phoenix in the summertime, and you have to board the airplane, but there's the ground air at the gate sucks, and it's like 90 degrees on the airplane. So that's when you see problems with boarding and such. But it's cool that they've got that modeled now. I talked about this, have the display brightness on startup at 80%, even for cold and dark, which that really is an old EIS-1 CRT thing. We're turning the screens off. Now, depending on your operator, you may actually shut them off when you do a securing checklist, but not a big deal for us today. So letting the airspeed just do its thing here. You can see, I mean, we're very much flying in a live environment. You can see as the wind changes on the aircraft, we got a little bit of increase, a little bit of decrease of speed. So we seem to be holding 7.8 pretty good, though, right now. Slam says, I remember when FS Labs started doing that back in the day. I thought it was next level. Slam, I know, dude. That was, I think, the first time I knew about that. I think Phantom told me about it. He said, dude, open the window when you try, or maybe it was in the Leonardo, actually, in P3D when I saw that. Crazy, though. But good to see that function here. Okay, so this is one I need to test, and I haven't seen it yet, but it says added fuel truck animations for slow refueling via the interactive control panel. So that's the ACP. Hopefully tomorrow we can bring up a fuel truck, and we'll see what it's like when they do the fueling and things like that. Now, this one I think is what got me at the end of the A340 stream last time. Tom, what are you doing? It's all good, man. So I think this is what crashed us on the A340-600 stream the first time we did it. Functional, and this is big coming into winter, functional on-ground de-icing via the new IACP, the interactive ACP screen, to avoid any nasty surprises during takeoffs and icing conditions. Well, I definitely set the weather conditions to icing conditions, and we tried to take off in the A340 and my wings went into like bendy mode and we crashed. It was an unrecoverable situation for us in the A340. And I think that's because we didn't de-ice. Now, I don't believe there's any physical or visual indicators of that, but it counts. It has a real-time de-icing scenario. So maybe tomorrow in the 319 we can try this as well. Maybe we won't do real weather. Maybe we'll try, I don't know, like a weather scenario or something. But cool. There's a couple other things. Added radio navigation from transponder failures, and reworked the emergency electrical ECAM, the electric essential buses on battery, and all engine fail procedures. So that's more like, that's stuff that I'm really going to be more focused in when we start doing our check ride prep streams and we really start failing engines and doing all types of electrical failures and things of that nature. Petrifi, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good, man. A couple of bug fixes here, and then we're going to wrap this up. Improved pitch behavior after dropping to direct mode from alternate mode on gear extension. So this is kind of a complex fix that they have here. But the fact that Toliss is still actively working and tweaking alternate and direct mode flight behaviors is pretty awesome. So this is why I continue to do any check ride preparation and any real world failure preparation streams in X-Plane with the Toliss aircraft, because they're changing the way the pitch is when you go from alternate mode to direct mode on gear extension. So for those that are familiar and have been following my streams, flying around in alternate law, when you drop the gear, you go into direct law, and your THS is frozen at the last position as well. So it's good to see that they're still working on that. It's pretty neat. Corrected gear lever motion and improved the nose. ECAM action processing reworked to include overflow management and correct order of clearing items. That's pretty cool. And re-enabled constraint editing directly on the flight plan A page. And there's a couple little more that we'll talk about, but that is really cool that they've done that. So you can edit constraints, and I got another disco in here, so let's go ahead and clear that out, insert that. So if you wanted to do a constraint edit, you should be able to do it directly from this page here. So beautiful. Let's do a flyby. Let's do some outside views here. The ground has thawing time with snow and snow covers on Orbix. Wow, ailerons in the wind. I did not know that, dude. That's crazy. Let's take a look at some of this external model here. I need a break. I'm going to just take a, I don't need a break, but I'm going to turn the sounds all the way down. I'm going to turn on just some music, just for 1 or 2 songs here. I need to drink some water and recover. It's been a long day, but I can't wait for this approach and landing. It should be fun. So let's pick a good song here. Enjoy some of the outside views. I know there's a song that I want to play. There's a song I want to play. I gotta find it. It's actually called, I think it's this one. I think it's this one. Or maybe not. I'm trying to find the picture of it. It's got like a little airplane window. Beautiful. I wonder how the 319 sounds. I'm going to be honest with you. I cannot wait. I'm going to get up early tomorrow. I'm going to come right back to the office. We were going to do our long haul tomorrow, but with that Vulcan device air loss, I'm a little bit sketched out about doing it. So tomorrow, we're going to do a 319 test flight. This isn't the song I was looking for. We're going to do a 319 test flight tomorrow, and we're going to see what kind of new stuff they got, because that is what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for the 319 for a while. I think this is the song. This is the song I was right here. This is the Toliss song right here. It's a good Airbus song. Trying to set it right about. Come on, there. I mean, the model looks pretty dang good. So we are over Orbix, California. It's not perfect on the ground level, I can tell you that much right now. And after this stream, I'm probably going to uninstall it, because I said on the last stream that I wasn't going to hodgepodge my sim together with incompatible add-ons just to have them sooner. And I ended up doing that for this stream, and look, we had a Vulcan device there. I have no idea if that has anything to do with it or not, but I'm gonna probably uninstall that until Orbix comes out with an official upgrade or update, a patch or whatnot. Now, if they try to start charging for updates to 12, that's really gonna suck, because I'll tell you right now, I'm not gonna be doing any ortho for xplane 12. I'll probably only fly where Orbix has regions, and then maybe some GA flying. But I am so over the overlay and making ortho game, but that's not going to stop me from flying some of these classic birds, the 321. Look how beautiful that 321 is. You can't tell me this is not beautiful, right? Jeremy, you have a great one. You should land flaps 3 since you're in Cactus. That was theirs. Yeah, so America West has standard operating procedure was flaps 3 in the 321. Jeremy, I'd do it for you, buddy, but here's the thing. I really want to feel, I'm accustomed to landing at 321 and flaps full, so I really want to fly this one flaps full. Oh, geez, just hit the thrust lever. I really want to fly this one flaps full, so I can really kind of compare it to my natural muscle memory. And what I'm also going to have to do is, if you look at the joystick settings, you've got a little bit of deadband here. 0.4, I think this is what default was. I might tweak this, so just keep an eye on this here. I might end up tweaking this, and I'll get a perfect setting for you guys for what I feel is the most accurate in real life. We can go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign off while we're up here. But once I get that tweaked, I'll make sure to let y'all know. So AWE is the same as US Airways, correct. So US Airways and America West merged. Actually, America West bought U.S. Airways, and then America West Management bought American. So the American you see today really is the old school America West, at least it used to be. Now it's been a lot of change in management and stuff, but the only America West Airlines bought U.S. Airways. They merged, but they kept the U.S. Airways brand, and now they ended up buying American, which they kept the American brand because it's American. What is deadband setting? Dub. Right now it's set to 0.4. I think that's a default. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep it that way or not, but I'll let y'all know when I tweak it. Oh my gosh, that is just beautiful though, is it not? Look at that shot right there. Zoom in, smash the like button for that juice right there, my friends. America West was your first ever commercial flight? Nice, man. Aileron says, that's my exact thought. I have every region of TE available. I'll be bummed to have to repay to upgrade the lot. Yeah, Aileron's into the wind. If I have to pay to upgrade all this stuff, like I don't even know if I will, man. I'll tell you what. I thought we crashed again. Just don't look at the sun. Phase 1. So the sun looks good now. Oh, nope. It's back. The white blob is back. The white blob is back. That's a sick shot, though, right there. I'll get the sun out of there. That is a sick-looking shot. First ever flight was Braniff. Ooh, 7.2. Nice. Pascal says, when do you ever have to open or close cross bleed, except for cross engine start, and why do you not open it when an engine fails so that both packs can run? Pascal Hands, you will open it on an engine failure depending on the type of failure. The reason you don't just blatantly open it, Pascal, is because depending on the engine failure, you might be called to blow the bottle or the halon extinguisher into the engine. If you do that and you open the cross bleed and you bring that air into the cabin, there is a potential for contamination. So depending on the side that the engine has failed and depending on the procedure that you have followed, you'll open the crossbleed valve. Opening the crossbleed valve for an engine failure is dependent upon the situation, and you will only do it as directed by the COM. I know there's some operators out there, and I've seen some other guys do it. They just said, oh, this has failed. Let's go ahead and open the crossbleed valve. That may be how they train. That may be how their SOP does it. Ours says you don't do it during a failure unless directed to by the COM, because when you're under stress and all that stuff, especially if you blew the bottle and you're low level IMC, you just don't want to be flipping switches out of memory in a high stressful situation, especially ones that could be damaging to the health of the passengers. So that's why you don't do it on a fault. Another instance you would open the cross bleed valve would be if you have a high pressure bleed valve in op. So a high pressure bleed valve on the ECAM here, we can look at it. I actually had this like last month. I know we need to enter destination data. So right now the high pressure bleeds are open because of our power setting. If you had one deferred and it was continuously closed, what you would have to do is then manually open the cross bleed valve every time you were at low power or at idle. So that's another time you'd open the cross bleed valve, and really that's pretty much it. And then the ground start would be another time that you would open it. Or shut it, depending on what. So that's a little bit about the cross bleed valve. It's kind of a hard one to just answer blatantly, but that's what I got from memory right now. All right, let's look at SFO weather. That's Salinas. We're not quite there. So let's go perf, next. Let's pull this out. I'm going to bring this McDo over on this side. And let's go here, airports. We're going into Oaklandia. K-O-A-K, enter. Let's take a look at the 10.9 page. So we want to land on 3.0, which we're set up for. So let's come back here. Let's go back, approach, ILS or localizer 3.0. Is the wing the exact same on the 321? Yes, but it has a different flap configuration. It has a double slotted flap for tail strikes that come in a little bit flatter. All right. What is happening? I just put on my oxygen mask? Why did I just put on my oxygen mask? How do I get my oxygen mask off? Oh, down here. I don't know why. Yeah, that's where your oxygen mask is. That's interesting. I was trying to read the... I like my pop out better. I got to bind it. So minimums are 209. I'm going to pull up real world weather here in a second. Tom, just in time for summer to end. I'll be getting back in the sim soon. Oh, yeah, baby. All right. Ooh, I got a notification. Mr. Sim Aviator is also live tonight. See what's he in? Oh, he's in the 321 too. Yeah, awesome. Here we go. We need to look at Oakland weather. Typing it into my handy dandy text feature. See what we got. Jesper, what's up, man? Thank you for the 50 dono. I appreciate you, man. It says, hi, everyone. Nice to be back on your live stream. Which stick and throttle do you use? Cheers from Denmark. Thank you so much, man, for that donation. I appreciate you. I am using, everything is in the description. So, Jesper, I'm using the Thrustmaster magnetic base with a FSprojects side stick. I'm bringing it up here for you so you can actually take a look at it. So underneath this base here is a Thrustmaster magnetic base, but this is a FSprojects side stick. And my thrust levers are from Throttletek hardware. The links and everything are in the description if you want to check them out. Oh, great. Here we go. We got more failures happening. I think Toliss gave me a special serial number. I think they did. We got other issues here. Let's go ahead and complete this. Circuit breaker tripped on overhead panel. Okay, clear, clear. What is tripped on the overhead panel now? What is this? Cockpit dome light? Okay, so the cockpit dome light is tripped. Interesting. And it does not work, as it shouldn't. Okay, well, I don't have my comm with me, but if you don't, let's go ahead and do a reset. Okay, it seems to stay in. We don't need the dome right now. We'll go ahead and turn it off. Jeez. What's our bottom altitude? And here, looks like it's going to be... Let's just set 10,000 for now. Let's get our sounds up a little bit here. And let's go ahead and mash it. So we have to manual thrust, so descent. I'm going to bring the power back. We'll do idle. Back in arc mode, we're descending down. Oh, I need to finish the weather. Hopefully this isn't an omen for your next flight, Chaos. Dude, I tell you what, I'm never going to leave my iPad at home now when I fly the Toliss. I'll tell you that. I should know better. METAR for Oakland is unavailable? Interesting. Send it again. There we go. 270 at 1.4. There's the actual wind. Temperature of 20. Nope. Temperature of 20. And the QNH is 29990. Nice day down there. Nice evening. 29990 is set. We go LS push buttons on both sides. We got 10,000 set. Let's go ahead and get the sounds up a little bit. I'm trying to see what does what here. All right. We're in mock descent mode. Toliss says, welcome back. Man, that flyby was pretty dang good. I'll take that. So we reset the circuit breaker. We can only reset it one time. It seems to have stayed in, which is good. So we're fine. We're idle thrust. We're descending in 31.6. What does the rest of our approach say? MITO is at 2,000. We can just go ahead and let's just set 2 as the bottom. 2,000 is set. MITO, we got a 3-degree path going down. That looks good. As far as approach speeds, what are we looking at here? We're going to do a flaps full, like I said, 144 VAP, transit flight level 180. Beautiful. All right, well, things are looking up. What are my thoughts of xplane 12? Well, you know, as we look at this sim here now, over orbits, I really think it has potential. I'm going to be honest with you. So, I really think it has potential. I really think this is a true beta, and I mean beta to the word, to the letter, with a capital B, ETA. This sim, to me, seems like there is room for a lot of improvements, which, I mean, that's what a beta is. I said this before, is would I, if I only had, you know, if I was really tight on budget, would I buy the beta version if I had xplane 11 up and running with all my add-ons, or maybe you have Microsoft? I don't know if I can fully recommend buying it yet, because I don't know where it's going. I think there is going to be, I think, and I hope it's going to really progress. I think there's some groundwork here that's going to progress. I just don't think it's ready. Now, obviously, everybody's financial situation is a little bit different. So, you know, if you have a much more financial freedom and you want to try it out, I don't think you're going to be mad. I think you're just going to find out that this sim is very much a beta right now. I mean, and just think about when Microsoft came out. You remember how much I raged, and it sounds like he has double output sound? Oh, I might. How about now? I think I might have fixed it, dude. Thank you. I'm sorry if that was going on this whole time. I apologize. I think I did, though. I had that. I can see it on my audio panel. It should be fixed now. But, I mean, the amount of times I complained about Microsoft and it being a game, I mean, I didn't fly it for a year, or maybe longer. And then the fly-by-wire brought me back into it, and then I fell in love with it and how it had progressed. And I do love Microsoft. I think Microsoft is a fantastic simulator. We got some fantastic add-ons in there. I had a ton of fun today flying the Caravan today, and just GA flying in Microsoft. And the best part about it is I didn't have to add or do any add-ons for that flight. Everything you saw was pretty much default. So that's just kind of where I'm at with this sim as a whole, you know. Now with these Airbuses coming out with the 319 and 321, why don't you ask me tomorrow? Why don't you ask me tomorrow about how I feel when I get back into my favorite Airbus, the A319? So if my sim was at home right now, if I wasn't at an office, I would do an extra late night stream in the 319 just because I'm so excited to try it. But I'll tell you what, tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up early. I'm going to fire up the 319, and we'll see what it is. Ask me tomorrow, because I might be even more juiced with the 319. Kevin Thomas, yes, very much in its infancy. I mean, it's what, a week old? I just hope, I don't know. I mean, look how beautiful that 321 is. I mean, this is like asking, I mean, this is, you know. My Toliss Airbuses are beer goggles. That's the equivalent of the Toliss Airbus for me. You ever heard of beer goggles, what it can do to you? The Toliss Airbus is, the systems and the flying of the Toliss airplane is my beer goggles for the sim. Jesper, welcome back to Private Pilot, sir. xplane 12, it's like with houses, good bones. Yeah, it's got good bones. Foobar, yeah, the buildings are going to meet it up better. And the thing is, if you're one of those people that just hate Microsoft and you don't want to deal with it, but you want to, you're a tinkerer, I think, and I think this applies to a lot of us flight simmers. We're tinkerers. We like to tinker with our sims. We like to tinker with add-ons. We're still on profile. We're a little bit slow. We're on the slow end, but that's fine. We like to tinker with things. And if you like doing that, if you like tinkering with CFG files, you like tinkering with your plugins folder and making sure your scenery INI is in the correct order, if that stuff doesn't bother you, then I think over time you're really going to enjoy xplane 12. Because there is some things that xplane 12 does that Microsoft does not do as of yet. Could that change in the future? Probably. But I've been so spoiled with Microsoft and not being able to tinker is it's really hard to get away from. Really hard to get away from that. Why can't you just use the pedal rudders when taxiing on the Airbus? Ali, so you can, but you only have limited nose wheel steering. Like to make a 90-degree turn, it's very difficult without the tiller. You have to have some forward speed, differential thrust, differential braking. And in a 321, you can pretty much forget it. A 319, you can do it a little bit easier. But the whole point of that rudder, that pedal disconnect, is so you can do a flight control check while taxiing. xplane 12 would be the reason I nuke Microsoft. That's Microsoft solely only for group flights. Eh? There you go. Tinker risks. Captain McGee says if price is an issue, xplane has an option to use PayPal, and you get split. You can split the $59.99 into 4 interest-free payments. There you go. Hey, man. Some people may use it. You never know. Everybody has a different situation, right? Where can you get the same AviTab? I'm not using any additional AviTab. I'm just using the AviTab plugin from the website, and this is the EFB that comes with the airplane. Now, I don't know if this is a Toliss lighting thing. I've never, sorry, not Toliss, an xplane lighting thing. I've never experienced a sunset yet in xplane 12, but I feel like there's a blue hue happening here. Do you guys see a blue hue? I don't know why, but I feel like I see a blue hue. All right, let's go ahead and set 290 on the altimeter. That is good. We're at 18,000. We're still on profile, so we're idle thrust. We're a little bit slow on the speed, but we're looking fine. Let's just enjoy this view a little bit more. But I feel like there's a bit of blue situation going on here. Jeremy says, I'd love to see you handle the ECAM called engine dual failure. Jeremy, I've handled that one a few times in the sim. It's a interesting one. Interesting to say the least, my friend. Yeah, Chaos. The cockpit lighting is definitely too dark, but I don't know if this is a darkness issue. I feel like this is just a saturation. I mean, it looks good. I'm not going to say it looks bad, but it just looks blue. You know? These proper engines, these engines look damn good. Like, if you guys remember when the Toliss first came out, the 319, their engine models were not that good. They have since vastly improved them over time. This is a pretty clean looking model here. You got a little bit of segmenting here I can see, but again, I'm not sure if this is 100% compatible livery. I don't know if I'm not a livery designer. I don't know if there's any new templates you need to use or whatnot. The haze picks up the sky color. Kevin says, I'm really hoping for a Phoenix 319 and 21 with proper engine modeling. Can't wait for them to move on from the default. Yes, Kevin, that is the biggest plague to the Phoenix right now is the default engine model that they're tweaking. We got to be careful here at this as we level here. 15 out constraint star. Going to need a little bit of power here so we don't get too slow. I'm going to give it a little bit of juice. Look how slow those EPers are. I mean, this it's just great. I tell you, I mean, moving the thrust levers in the Toliss, I really feel like I'm moving real thrust levers. I really do. Especially with the Throttletek. I mean, The engine model is awesome in this. Toliss just trying to put Carta out of work. That looks pretty good right there, but hey, I don't know if you can, I don't think anybody can compete with a Carta engine. Although, I mean, this, I say that, and this for a default engine, this looks really, this looks really good. Honestly, that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? You tell me. Am I being blinded by the fact that I just see my favorite engines, or that I think that looks pretty good? Does the Airbus have a fuselage dent from the floor plates? Airbus have the fuselage dent from the floor plates in real life. Captain McGee, I'm not sure what you're referencing. Sorry, man. Why does the APU stay on for several minutes after you turn it off so it can have a proper shutdown cooldown cycle? Now, fun fact is it will only stay on if you've had it loaded up for a certain amount of time. So with the electric on and the bleed on. If you were to just turn it on and shut it right back off, it's not going to go down through a cooldown period. But it is for a cooldown period. So yeah, Big Mac, you're correct. I was commuting home on the baby bus the other day. I noticed they shut down with flaps 1. Yes. So JetBlue and hard booting. So basically, in high ambient temperatures above 37 degrees now. So I actually just got changed. Ours just got changed from used to be 40. Then it used to be 35. Then it was 40, and now I believe it's 34. I don't know. And they've lowered it again. So in high temperatures, anywhere from, let's say, 35 C and up, it could be procedure for the airline, depending on the mod that's installed on that airframe, that you would leave flaps at position 1 during shutdown to prevent air wing leak ECAM or a nuisance warning ECAM. That would require maintenance action to come to the airplane. I think Carter's work scared him. Ernie says, updated the xplane 12, and yes, engine sounds are good, really good, awesome. Kevin, yeah, the V2500s definitely resemble the Rolls-Royce. Absolutely, man. It just looks so much better, I think. Just beefier. Beefier, they're meatier. Oh, look, we have terrain as well in this sim, I believe, right? Hey, we got terrain on ND. Brighten it up a little bit. So I'm actually going to turn my terrain brightness down so I can see my flight path over the green terrain, because it's green on green. As we get ready to go through 10,000 feet here, let's go ahead and light it up. And we'll just come over here. We don't have any ATC on. I got to figure out, so 2 things I need to figure out for tomorrow. X-Pilot and 319. We're going to figure out those 2 things for tomorrow. And I hope to see you guys here. I hope you smash that like button. I hope you subscribe to the channel, because this is going to be a fun week, I think, for us in the sim. I think it's going to be fun. Nah, Kevin, you're not alone in thinking that, my friend. I'm right there with you. All right, so we've got a constraint of 9. We're still on path. We're looking real good. I mean, I've been at idle. So this is like, you know, people freak out. Oh, the auto thrust is in op. And this is pretty realistic. I put the power levers to idle, the thrust levers to idle atop a descent. I have touched them, what, 1 time in the descent? So now where it can get a little hectic is if you're doing, getting vectored around and leveling at intermediate altitudes, talking to ATC, then yes, it's going to be much more hectic. I don't believe the landing performance is up yet. So coming soon. Coming soon. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for that. .319 update straightforward, works right out of the box. Excellent. We're going to be landing in Oakland, California. You know, we should just land in San Jose, but we'll go to Oakland. All right, let's bring up the throttle cam, getting that ready. I need to do a new calibration for X-plane for my throttles as well. So this is where you get to see, so this, you see these trees, see how that's got this weird lighting thing going on? I'm pretty positive this is because this is not a fully compatible updated Orbix, We're flying over Orbix Ortho right now, but I don't think it is fully compatible with 12 yet. So probably after this stream, I'm going to just delete it, and then we're just going to rock default everything until we get some official sceneries coming out here for 12. And I would highly recommend that method as well, because who knows, man, if you start tweaking some stuff now, 6 months from now, you're going to be on a long haul flight and your sim's going to crash on final because of some stupid tweak that you did trying to make something compatible when it wasn't compatible, and there was an update and now it's causing your sim to crash. So that's my mentality behind it. I might just leave the Orbix California so we could just fly in California. We might do a flight from, I think we're going to take, here's what we're going to do. We'll probably take either an Airways, US Airways, or an America West 319 up tomorrow. All right, we're leveling at 7. We're going to need a little bit of power here. Let's go ahead and get the power back in. So yeah, I got a little bit more split in my throttles than normal. All right, we're through 10,000 feet. I'm going to just go ahead and select speed. I'm going to bug. I'm just going to bug 210. Actually, you know what? I'm going to bug 180. And we're going to come here. We're going to activate and confirm the approach phase. That is done. And we're going to start down here pretty soon. Once we start the descent, we'll go flaps 1. Auto thrust is broken, Chris. Yeah, we had an engine EIU1 fault in the climb out. And we lost auto thrust. So Toliss is welcoming me back. It seems like it's just very fitting, isn't it? You know, first flight in the 321 and xplane 12, and I get a fault, multiple faults. Here come the slats. Jeremy, I don't think that it's ever going to happen, my friend, streaming it from their own servers. I don't think Ortho, here's the thing, Ortho is never going to happen streaming-wise for xplane 12. That's why I say you're going to have to be okay with tinkering. Okay, so flaps are out. That populates the status message. Let's review this. Engine 1, approach idle only. Cat 2 only. Auto thrust. Cat 3, reverser 1. Clear status, clear status. We're aware of our faults. We're manual thrust. We have approach idle only. So we don't have our ground idle, which is a little bit lower idle, but that's going to be fine. I'm actually going to keep bringing the power back. Well, actually, we're at idle right now. So we are idle thrust, and I'm at S speed. Let's go ahead and extend flaps 2. What I miss? Congrats, John Kane. What I miss, my friend? Just passed my 320 check ride. Hey, John Kane, dude, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. Welcome to Team Airbus, my friend. Feels good to get that out of the way, doesn't it? Get out of that torture chamber. But welcome to the Airbus Brotherhood, my friend. This one's for you. Cheers. The red elephant, I'm with you, man. The ergonomics and the cockpit layout and the flat out comfortability, that's not even a word, but I'm going to say it anyway. The comfortability of the Airbus is much better. So we're flying over, getting ready to fly over Hayward, which I was flying out here a lot my freight days. Used to be based in Oakland. They moved us to Hayward because it was too expensive. I had an apartment, I'll never forget, on Carlos B. Boulevard. Me and my now wife, we moved out here. Oh, I think this is Hayward, isn't it? So Oakland's up here somewhere. Might be a little bit further south, though. This is what I love about Orbix. This looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. Yeah, we had an apartment on Carlos B. Boulevard in Hayward, California. I almost like it without the window. I can't tell. Window or no window? I mean, it adds a nice little dimming to it. All right, bump it up. We have sounds. I'm right below Cal State. Nice. What's the best remote FMC from Microsoft Flight Simulator? Jeff, that would be a great question. Ooh, I need power. That would be a great question for XP72. I don't use any remote FMCs. I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction, my friend. So I'm not very familiar with any of those, unfortunately. All right, let's just go ahead and arm the approach phase. Approach is armed, AP2 out constraint. So let's go ahead and get my screens up here so you guys can read them better. So we are looking at glide slope star, Loke star, needs some power. Cat 2 only, autopilot 1+2. A little bit slow, that's all right. Glide slope, Loke, now she's coming down nicely. I'm going to go ahead and just push for managed speed. I tell you what, we'll configure early so I get a handle on the pitch and power here on final. Let's go ahead and listen to the gear sound. Shall we? Gear down. VFE next -10, flaps 3. A little bit of juice. We'll just say, we'll simulate, they said, a slow to your final. VFE next -10, flaps full. Love that. So the flap, someone was asking about the Airbus wing being different on the 321. So right here, this double slot, this flap is not on your 319, 320. It's just a single. But on the 321, you get that extra slat there. That's to help bring you in a little bit flatter. All right, so here we go. So this is Hayward Airport. I was based in Oakland, then based in Hayward. And where's Carlos B. Boulevard? It's got to be out here somewhere. I think, oh, you know what? This is Hayward right here. So right out here, I used to live somewhere here. There's a, what is that? I don't know any of these landmarks anymore, but absolutely beautiful. John Kane, Trade Table Gang, exactly.
2,500.
All right, landing checklist, cabin crew advised, auto thrust is off. ECAM memo, it should pop up here as we go sub 2,000. In real life, you could read it off. Landing gear, down 3 green. Spoilers are not armed because they keep, I think I need a calibration. I got to find out what my other binding is. Ground spoilers armed. Signs are on. And flaps config full. Landing checklist is complete. Autopiloto off. Let's hand fly this puppy.
2,000.
Cat 1, runway's in sight. I'm going to leave the flight directors on. We won't do bird mode on this one. Let's see how she hand flies. Ooh, a nice little crosswind from the left, 15 knots. Now, this is a default Oakland scenery as well, so just bear with me. Oh, cabin check. There we go, we'll do that. So yeah, there's definitely either a binding issue or I've got some extra noise. I gotta make a little dead zone for that spoiler lever. Everything else looks good though. Cabin signs, that's what it means. Yep, water is default. Everything you see is default. We're going to look at the water in the replay for sure. Because I know that, ooh, that looks pretty good. Pretty uniform though, but looks all right. Well, we got plenty of juice fuse in the replay. So 1.05 on the EPR, that's about correct. I don't know why the spoilers keep going off. John Kane, you should know this. If I land with the spoilers not armed, when will they deploy? So we're not going to worry about arming. I know the spoilers didn't arm there, but in the Airbus they will still deploy under certain situations. That's not terrible. We got that nice hotel over there for Oakland. I know you can't see my EPR, but yeah, I'm right about there. 1.05 and a 321. We're looking pretty good. Right on speed. I gotta say, it does fly
500.
nice.
$400.
A little bit of power here, getting a little bit slow. 2 whites, 2
300.
reds.
100 above.
That sounds like it was pulled right out of a YouTube video.
200.
Minimum.
I will say this, the glide slopes are a hell of a lot easier to follow in X-plane than they are in Microsoft. I don't know why.
50. 40. 30. 20.
Retard.
10.
We floated. I don't care. Spoilers. Whoa.
Retard.
Why don't I have any reverse thrust? Oh shit. Go around. Go around flaps. Positive rate. You're up. Toga, SRS, go around track.
Speed. 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 Speed.
Well, I'm on it. We're good. What was that? We had no reverse. We'll level at 2,000. Alt star. F speed. Flaps 1. Jeez. Alt. Alright. So maybe my reverse is not bound or something. So I know we're not supposed to get a reverse 1, but I had no decel, no reverse on number 2. I was supposed to get reverse on number 2. And it's almost like it was adding power. So let's try this again. Let's just go ahead and pull for pullers speed. We're going to hand fly. We're going to go flight directors off. We're going to do the harbor tour right now. What the hell? We'll go track FPA mode. Flaps are config 1. I'm going to bug 180 on the speed. This will be all right. We're going to reactivate and confirm the approach phase. We're going to come back around for 30 again. But since we're here, why not? Why not take a look at San Francisco default? Niels. No, it is. It is. Reverse is on same axis. What is smart thrust lever idle lock? That's right. We can land with no reverse. That's fine. We'll do no reverse landing on this one. Wow, this is beautiful. So we're going to just do the harbor tour here. Do another flyby. Wow. All right, I know we're supposed to land in Oakland, guys, but I mean, that looks pretty good. I'll take that. There's is that old candlestick? It's not candlestick anymore. Yeah, sorry about that. I dropped the had my heart skip a beat there. I went right into real life mode for a second. I was like, okay. Fatigue. There's definitely fatigue coming into effect here. But wow, look at the bay. Yeah, just 140 knots halfway down the runway in a 321. Probably one of the last things you hear on most CVRs is some expletives. Probably demonetized now. Smash the like button for trying to get me some likes after I just demonetized my stream. Immersion factor 2,000%. Yeah, Candlestick is tore down. What's the name of the new Oracle Park? Thank you. Well, here is minus the weird shadows of the Orbix trees. That actually looks pretty dang good. I mean, that looks pretty good, does it not? Let's do a flyby. So where's the chocolate factory? Isn't the Ghirardelli chocolate factory over here somewhere? All right, let's turn this puppy around. Let's go land. Let's go land. And we're going to come right back over the city.
2000.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wow. Screenshot, I got to get it with the beacon on. There we go. That looks almost postcard-esh.
Terrain.
Terrain check. Bank angle check. Still at 2,000. We're going to revector ourselves all the way back around. Let's clean up the box. 296. 298, which would be 078. Cool. All right. Back to Oakland. We could land at San Fran, but I have no runways or no terminal. Yeah, David, that view was absolute fire, wasn't it? But, I gotta do one of my. I need XP. Where's XP? I need XP to come do a PA for me. I think Ghirardelli Chocolate Factory is like right here. We're gonna fly over the chocolate factory. A lot of folks from the flight deck. Sorry about that go around there on landing. There's nothing wrong with the airplane. We just wanted to do a little harbor tour of new San Francisco orbit scenery. So we're going to be on the ground here in about 5 more minutes. We just thought we'd extend the flight a little bit here so you can see what's going on. Thank you for your patience. We'll be on the ground shortly. Probably end up in Alcatraz if you did this in real life. 2,000 feet over SFO. Talking to nobody. I'd already be intercepted. A little bit slow. Let's get a little bit more juice in there. So I can tell right off the bat, guys, that the power performance, and what I mean by that is pitch and power. So level 2,000 here, flaps 2 at 180 knots with the EPR. The drag model is very good on the 321. And it always, there's never been a question about the flight characteristics of Toliss and the xplane. It's always been pretty good, but I can just tell, I mean, I feel like the adjustments I'm making with my thrust levers are very true to what I would be expecting to make in real life. Now, are they exact? I don't know. I don't know what the exact figures are, but just my muscle memory, it feels pretty good with what I'm doing. And I've noticed that in the Phoenix. We talked about that being the biggest downfall to the Phoenix 320 is the default engine model, because the drag and the power is just not there. You know, I end up doing some funky things with the thrust levers when I'm in the Phoenix because it just doesn't have that proper, you know, pitch and power. This is feels much better. We're a little bit high here, but it's fine. We're 2,100 feet. We'll come back around for Maito at 2,000. All right, so on this one, let's go auto brakes medium, and we're just gonna not put it in reverse because I don't know what happened there. So we're below landing weight. Let's try it again. Possible pilot deviation. XP is right there. Yeah, XP does the perfect. Is it? Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, XP72 here. Sorry about that 475 foot per minute landing there. We were just testing the struts. But we're going around, and we're going to go ahead and put it back down on the ground nice and soft. Thank you for your patience. XP's got the best PAs out there, man. All right, one more flyby, then we're going to get ready to intercept. All right, yeah, let's see if we cook the brakes on this one. My brakes are bound, right? Yeah, brakes are working. I can see the brake pedal is moving. All right, let's do a short approach. You guys want to do a short approach? We probably shouldn't do it in a 321. Hell, let's do it. Power's coming idle. Manage speed, gear down. Fuel below 6,600 pounds. This is going to F me here. No speed brakes. That's really going to hurt me. I don't know why I can't get that to stay armed. BFE next minus 10. Let's go flaps 2. Next mo, flaps 3. We're going to bring it in inside of my toe.
2000.
Lower that nose. And flaps full. Next stream, pre-check bindings. Yes, indeed. So I'm trying to look at the water. You guys keep saying the water should be more... Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it should be a little bit more choppy, but it's X-plane. And all I need to do now is be unstable on this short approach. I have to go around again. And we're really going to have to start looking at our fuel. We're okay. 6.5 on the fuel, though. Look at those fuel flows, though. Perfect. 1160 here at idle. I like it.
$1,000.
Descent rate check. I don't know why I did this. I should have just done a proper approach, huh? We're going to be high, and we're going to overshoot the final.
500. 400.
2 whites, 2 reds. Without track IR, we're 1,300 on the sync rate. Correcting. Power. Correcting. All right, it'll look sick on replay, I promise. All right, we're back on it. Okay, so let's not float this one.
Minimum.
We're just going to put this one down because I don't know what's happening here on the
100.
stopping part of this airplane.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
All right, so I'm down. It's adding thrust. Manual brakes. So we're all over the center line, but so I've got a binding issue. Sounds like there's a sound clipping issue too. Manual brakes, and we're at approach idle. Man, we were on those brakes pretty hard. So I don't know what's going on. That's a definite binding issue for my reverse thrust. So reverse thrust is not available on 1. There we go. There's that. Oh, I wonder if we found ourselves a bug. Because if I put them both into reverse... No, now I'm getting reverse. Okay. Weird. Let's clean it up. Actually, I'm going to leave those out. And let's park it. Let's look at that replay. Remember, X-plane 12 is still in beta. Exactly. How could you forget? So what's properly simulated here is I can't get. Look at our brakes are already hot. That would be true. So the failure that we have, we cannot get engine 1 reverse. So when I go into reverse, I should just get engine 2 reverse, which I'm now getting. But what's happening, is it adding thrust? So it is. Okay, so I'm getting reverse on number 2, but I'm getting positive thrust on number 1 because of the fault that we have. So that has to be a bug, and we just went past all that. Let's just watch the replay. We don't need to go shut it down. Let's listen to the shutdown. So let's do an evacuation. Brake set. Now let's go ahead and just shut down 1. Let's listen to the spool down. Oh, I don't have the shut off bound. All right, could be better on the shutdown sounds. So what was happening, we're going to watch the replay and then I'm getting out of here. Because of the failure that we had, when I went into reverse thrust with both engines, while you could still do that, what would happen in real life is it would just lock the number 1 thrust lever. It wouldn't actually go into reverse. But what, for some reason, with the failure that we had, when I put both engines into reverse, it would give me reverse thrust on number 2, but it would give me positive thrust on number 1. So that was spicy. That's why we went going down the runway at 140 knots. So let's go ahead and back it up. I guess let's just look at if we can not crash would be great. Uh-oh. I've got a bad feeling about this. Let's just... boy. Oh, Niels. That might be a curve. There might be a curve. Let's go ahead and rewind this to our go-around. Ah, Sims and stuff. Thank you, dude. You're absolutely right. The reason we're not seeing the waves is because the True Earth is not fully compatible with xplane 12, and I know that. It does not have 3D water. I've flown 172 and the water looks really good. You're absolutely right, Sims and stuff. So that's why our water looks the way it looks, guys, because it's not compatible with xplane 12. But let's watch this go around here, and then we're going to get out of here because it's, oh my gosh, it's 8 o'clock. I cannot believe it. So here we go. We're coming in. 140 knots. We're looking good. Super loud on the outside. Brought her down, nice and floaty. I'm like, yeah, we're fine, we're fine. Touchdown, no reverse. So right there, I'm in reverse, but I'm adding thrust. So we're just wheeling down the runway at 140 knots at this point, which is interesting. Maybe I need to put these in the on. So we're doing that, and then we're like, all right, you're a retard. Go around. That's what it said. It's like, retard. Go around, Toga thrust, climb out, go around flaps is the call, positive rate, gear up, and look at that, Toga thrust, we're light now, we are rocketing. Look at that gear retraction sequence, looking amazing, looking good. How about the gear doors? All close at the same time? Yes! Beautiful, all close at the same time as they should. Ailerons, true fan, 2 a.m. and you're up for work in 3 hours. You are a true fan, my friend. Thank you for staying up. Appreciate you. All right, let's pause. Let's compile shaders to the last landing. All right, and let's reverse all the way back. I feel like it's just safer to be in rewind instead of click and drag. GNR is still up as well. GNR, are you getting up to start the day? Isn't it like 6 a.m. your time? What are you doing, man? All right, here we go. Let's watch this last landing. Let's put this into sail mode, and let's get the hell out of here because this was fun. I cannot wait to fly this more tomorrow. I promise I'll have a better, smoother stream. Well, I don't promise, but I'm really going to try. Nice short approach after the San Francisco tour. Let's see how our second landing was. Definitely more firm on this one. So we ain't messing around. We're just going to put her down. Boom. Had the issue, so I... Interesting. It didn't even show the reverser door open on this one, did it? Interesting. Basically, we just landed without reverse thrust or spoilers. You can see the tires are smoking. We definitely had hot brakes. Spicy meatball. Nice little wing flex situation going on. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap it up with 1 or 2 more replays and then I have to get out of here. I've been at the office all day long. Need to get out of here. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Hope to see you tomorrow on a 319 flight. Shout out to Toliss for getting the airplanes updated and ready to rock and roll. I'm going to turn this down because that's really loud. But you guys have a wonderful night. Stay safe, stay healthy. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. See ya!